Example number 2. Find the producer's surplus if the supply function for pork bellies is given by the following. S of Q equals Q to the 7/2 plus 2Q to the 5/2 plus 51. Assume supply and demand are in equilibrium at Q equals 16. So the first thing we have to do is find P naught. And in this case, P naught is S of the equilibrium quantity, which is 16. So that's 16 to the 7/2 plus 2 times 16 to the 5/2 plus 51. Now, a fractional exponent means you have a root on the bottom and an exponent on the top. So in both of these cases, I have a square root followed by a power. So it's going to be the square root of 16, so that's going to be 4 to the 7th plus 2 times square root of 16, 4 to the 5th plus 51. And now I'll use my calculator. 4 to the 7th plus 2 times 4 to the 5th plus 51, and that gives me 18,483 for my P naught. So now I'm going to enter all of this into the formula for producer surplus. So it's going to be the integral from 0 to the equilibrium price 16 of 18,483 minus, and now I have to minus this entire S of Q function. So it's going to be minus Q to the 7/2 minus 2Q to the 5/2 minus 51. And of course, it's an integral, so we need the differential dq. So I can go ahead and combine like terms before I do my integration. So 18,483 minus 51 gives me 18,432 minus Q to the 7/2 minus 2Q to the 5/2. And this is going to be a simple power rule integration. So the integral of 18,432 dq is 18,432q minus Q to the 7/2 plus 1 divided by 7/2 plus 1 minus 2Q to the 5/2 plus 1 divided by 5/2 plus 1. And since this is a definite integral, there's no plus c needed. We're going to evaluate it at 16 and at 0 and find the difference between those. So a little bit of simplifying before we evaluate. So that's 18,432q. And this is 7/2 plus 2/2, so that's 9/2. And this is also 9/2. So because we're dividing by 9/2, that's going to get flipped. So this is going to be minus 2/9 q to the 9/2. And similar thing here, 5/2 plus 2/2. Well, that's 7/2. So this is going to be minus, and look, we've got a 2 on the top and a 7/2 on the bottom. When that's flipped, it's going to be 2/7, so it's going to be a minus 4/7 Q to the 7 over 2. And all of that has to be evaluated first at 16, then at 0, and then we find the difference of those. So let's evaluate this. So first at 16, 18,432 times 16 minus 2/9, 16 to the 9/2 minus 4/7, 16 to the 7/2. So that's what I've got to evaluate. Now this can be tricky in the calculator. You can either do your exponents as exponent parentheses 9 divided by 2, or you can use the fraction key and you don't have to have the parentheses. But if you use the division key, you do. You could also go ahead and apply these square roots to these 16s, and that's what I'm going to do. And this will help you decide if you can't get the right answer, if you're doing it wrong in the calculator or not. So 18,432 times 16 is 294,912 minus 2/9. I'm going to take the square root of 16, so that's 4 to the 9th, minus 4/7. Square root of 16 times 4 to the 7th. So 294,912 minus 2/9 times 262,144 minus 4/7 times 4 to the 7th, 16,384. And so now I'm going to evaluate these to 2 decimal places. 294,912 minus 2 times 262,144 divided by 9 is 58,254.22 minus 4 times 16,384, then divided by 7 is 9,362.29, and then subtract all that. 294,912 minus 58,254.22 minus 9,362.29 is 2,272.95 and 49 cents. So $227,295.49. Now we're supposed to remember when we do the evaluation, we have to also do it at the bottom one. But if you'll notice, all of these have a Q, so that's going to end up being minus 0. So our final answer for our producer surplus is $227,295.49.